pros and cons. Launching in a bear market. Is
Sure.
it to launch in a bear market? What's the case for and the case against it? Like, how do you think it plays out?
So the case for it is that's a super cool story. Like if we're talking about timing the bear market, as far as launching in a bear market, I don't think we have enough data. Crypto is not old enough for us to know if that's a true consistent value proposition that launching in a bear market creates like a better way to go up. That's a cool convenience narrative, but this is not your ordinary bear market. You've got quantitative tightening for the first time in decades, a strengthening dollar. So it's like a rare situation where the markets are down, the value of the dollar is up, but the inflation of commodities is outpacing the strengthening of the dollar. So you've really got like the worst spread of variables on the table. So launching in a bear market could be beneficial in the sense that you're not competing with overinflated valuations. So anybody who is deploying capital is doing so in a more sobered, conservative reality where they can say, we're not just taking million X Bitcoin profit and then throwing it into a lower market cap or like lower liquidity order book and just trying to play the pumpamentals on that. We're at a much more relatively more conservative valuation landscape. So that could be good for people to have a easier time measuring the true confidence within the demand side of the market. As for, the other side of the coin is, what if you launched in the bull market and what if it was a 7-year bull market? Is anybody going to be upset that you launched in a time where free money is falling off trees and everything is becoming overvalued? Like, so that argument, I don't think we have enough data to actually, those are convenience narratives and recency bias more than anything. As for like, is Richard timing the market? No, he's been transparent about the work that they're doing on the code side of PulseChain. And there's like this weird gaslighting trick that people do where you and I both know that PulseChain hasn't launched yet. We both know that neither of us know when it's going to launch. And so I can arbitrarily pick an event and correlate the significance of two unrelated phenomena, like a launch of a chain and the bottom of a bear market, and say he's waiting for these two things to be the same thing. And how it's Russell's teapot. How can you disprove it? We aren't there yet, and it hasn't launched yet. So the thesis is still intact, even though it's probably no more accurate than if we just closed our eyes and said it's not going to launch until the teapot starts spilling. So there's a lot of like clout to be gained by having contrarian views and having these, oh, hey, he's got this masterful plan that if it were that easy, man, I try to humble people's perspective of Richard sometimes. He got the top right, sort of. He missed it by several months and by several $1,000s on Bitcoin. To him, it's nothing because his cost basis, he knows that the difference between 65 and 69 is 0. There's no difference in that number. Yeah. But again, there's the time horizon. So think of how many people got liquidated going long when we didn't fall 85% overnight out of the parabola. And then people said, this time it's different. Oh, there's all this extra money in the world. So maybe 35K is really the bottom. And they keep pumping the leverage out there. And so these exchanges keep extracting value in the form of funding rates and liquidations and things of that nature. So when people start to, they say the more things change, the more they seem to stay the same. People really just want to believe that there is this predetermined path to the world. And what really matters is catching the bottom of the bear market to launch. It's not true, man. That sounds cool. I do know what you mean. Like, that sounds cool. It's just not the truth, though. There are so many more variables in play than whatever you think this bottom of. Are you talking about the bottom of the real estate market? Are you talking about the bottom of the equities market? Are you talking about the bottom of the commodities market? Are you talking about the bottom of the bond market? These are all different things. What is the bottom?
If you had the launch button in front of you, big red button says launch PulseChain, would you press it now, or would you press it
as soon as it's ready? As soon as the code is ready is when I launch it, because
let's say in 6 months we go into bull. I mean, that's probably not gonna happen. I'm just saying hypothetically, 6 months we hit bull market. Would you press it then? Like where? I mean,
I'm not pressing it until the code is ready. Unless the code is ready, I don't care. And there's so much value being every single day that PulseChain hasn't launched is money that all of us, including Richard, significantly more than any of us, could be making.
Yeah.
There's no benefit to not having it on the market. Oh, it's a bear market. Who cares, dude? I can make money on price go down. I can make money servicing liquidity in low cost environments. There is money to be made in all markets. Nobody benefits, especially the founder, from playing this weird psyop where bear market means that prices can't go up. You guys do realize that Bitcoin in this bear market, while rates were rising, Bitcoin we were already at 20K a couple of months ago. And we went all the way back to 40K. That's a 2X, you guys, on the heaviest crypto asset in the entire market. What are you talking about? 40K and 20K are the exact same number in true OG Bitcoin cost terms. So like being in a bear market doesn't mean that money can't be made on speculative investments. The path to prosperity looks different. Maybe you're not going to onboard as many moon boys that only play the long side of the market. But guess what, y'all? No one cares about your $1,000. They don't. We're talking millions and billions out here. Like these numbers are real and they're much more impactful than, well, we'll get a 10,000x if we launch at the bottom of a bear market. There's no proof of that. You're going to get a 10,000x if there's more demand than there is selling. That's how you get there. The only variable.